Hey guys, thanks for checking back in. It's been a long time. Winter was good, got a bunch of stuff done. Quick update on Shane's car. It is at the exhaust shop, getting the exhaust put on. Once I put the transmission in, I couldn't use that piece of pipe that I had, like that 30-inch piece of pipe or 18-inch piece of pipe for the O2 sensor. So it was best to just get the exhaust put on. This way we can run the car and not have it dumping fuel, and try to get a decent remote tune in it and all that stuff. So that car should be back in the next week, and then I'll do an update on that. Everything else pretty much just a bunch of little stuff on that one to button up. All in all, going well. Transmission's in, drive shaft. I forget where we left off on that one, but radiator's in, fans are wired up, and a bunch of little stuff on the engine, steam vent and all that. Yeah, I will do an update on that. I forget what the last video was on that. And then also I did a bunch on the brakes, the front brake kit, which I have a bunch of videos on, which I'm probably going to do like a separate video with all that stuff. This way you can see it like start to finish. We got to paint those and then do the final install on the brakes themselves. So we'll get to that. Obviously behind me you see that other car that I was building for a while, finally out of paint. So let's get into it. Let's start by going over the engine, and here it is looking pretty badass. Waiting on this other piece because it actually goes through this little channel, and it actually got hung up on there on install after powder coating. So that one got a little scarred up, so I had to get it redone. Waiting on that to come back. Everything else came out awesome. This is a two-tone powder coating. This is like a gold with a flake in it, and this is like a black with like a gold flake in it. Is what's tough to see on this light. Yeah, but that stuff came out awesome. Also got the wheels back, and they came out really nice. Got that gold and black, and it's tough to tell here, but there's a flake in this black. Might be able to tell it. Yeah, you see it there on this one. But those are back wheels. Waiting on tires for this, doing the ET Streets. Yeah, but these things came out awesome. Powder coater knocked it out of the park. And I forget the name of this gold, but it does have a little bit of a flake in it. But man, these things look incredible. Engine is, it's actually caliper paint, high heat caliper paint, gold. That's what I did on my other car as well, and I love that color. It's a pretty good match. Shout out to Sean's Custom Alloy for this amazing piece. The intake is Sean's Custom Alloy. It's a 2-inch raised intake for a 871 series blower. And then these high 76 millimeter valve covers, which are just badass. I mean, look how high they are. Just looks killer. Just really came out really nice. It has the front breather for the catch cans, so I'll have 90s here heading to the catch can, one on either side. I'm kind of fabbing up my own little Motion Raceworks steam vent kit on this because no one really has anything, but I had bought this for the other intake, the high intake. I guess it was the Texas Speed one. And this basically laid flat under that other intake in there. But on here, there's not enough room. So I'm utilizing this and making my own AN lines, which is coming out pretty nice. I got to just figure out a little bit of a mounting point. I'm going to make a little bracket for this to mount on that bolt there. And then it comes around. Got the Arrow motive with the Motion Raceworks bracket. And it does clear. I'm going to have a regular water pump here. It does clear that. And then these are the other front AN line kits for the steam vent. And then from here, there'll be one going down to the radiator, wherever that may be. I've still got to figure these out. I'm going to see if I should just paint them or try to get them powder coated. But they're a little bit of a pain in the ass getting on and off. But I think those in gold would really tie it in really nice, because you'll definitely be seeing that. That should be like at eye level when you're standing next to the car, so it'll be pretty good. And got a couple little things to button up on the motor. And I got to do the ATI down, the balancer on that, and the lower pulley. So once I get that on, and then this kind of will be with the ATI, and then that, and then I got to measure for the snout on the blower. So I'll try to get all that done next week. I'm just waiting on one more thing to install the balancer, and that's it for the engine. But the car came out amazing as far as paint. We spent a lot more time on the engine bay, cleaning up all the holes, because there is going to be no hood on this car. So I just want to make it as nice as possible. It's kind of what took a little bit of time, and starting to put it together. Here's the gold roll cage coming out. I mean, the two-tone is just insane. But all in all, left the sunroof. There's nothing I could do there. Just too much of a pain in the ass trying to get anyone else to try to close it or get a new roof on there. I don't care what anyone says. I tried multiple places. It's not happening. But I think once it's on with the black roof now, it'll be hard to even see. This seat is in here just kind of for mock-up. These seats are going to go in my other car, IROC-X. And I'm going to use the seats that are in that car and this, because those are Corbos, and they're a lot lower. Like, this seat is too high, especially with the roll cage, because I already whacked my head just testing it out. But the other seats are probably like at least 4 or 5 inches lower, so it'll be perfect for this car. And then these seats I'll put in the other car. And just mocking up the dash for now, making sure everything is good. And I mounted the switch panel. Well, now I'm gonna have a bunch of different switches I really don't need, so I gotta figure all that out, and probably just relabel a couple things and change some stuff up. But did Dynamat on most of the car. Came out really well. Painted the whole inside too. I actually did all this by hand with a brush and rollers, and I used a Rust-Oleum, a flat black Rust-Oleum paint. And waiting on the battery box, gonna go back here. Same like they did in Shane's car. The only difference with this one is I'm gonna have to basically fab up another bracket on this side, because where that other one mounts is right where this roll bar is. So I'll probably cut that mount off and then weld up a little angle bracket to mount it there. So I will I'll get all that in the next video. Should have that early next week. But definitely coming out pretty good. Got the Motion Raceworks parachute mount bolted in. And got the battery cables running. So gonna run a ground to this one from the battery as well. They say that's the best way to do it. And I got those in there. You saw them on the firewall on the inside and the outside. And those are the wiring for the switch panel. It's a switch panel up here. I have a little bit of adjustment to right or left. I think when the other seats are in, I think it's gonna be in a good spot. If anything, I could either go a little bit more to the right or a little bit to the left, but I think it's pretty good. And then once I'm sitting in the other seats, it'll be further down, because that thing, I hit my head on that as well, trying to get out yesterday. Holly dash is in, and I just got just for mock-up right now, I'm gonna take that out and run the wires. I got a lot of room up under here. So it's tough to see, but I got, there's a ton of space. Let's see if I can get in there. I mean, you can see in there, it's all wide open. So I'm gonna mount the Holly, and I got a bunch of fuse panels. One for the switch panel, and then one for, I have another, I'll show you this one. I have for all the blinkers and stuff. So I have this, and I'm gonna mount this somewhere on the dash. It's got the horn, lights, and then the blinkers. I'm gonna try to implement I have the Motion Raceworks billet blinker switch that goes onto the roll bar mounted steering column. So I am going to try to implement that just for the blinkers into that system. So at least I don't have to go and put my hand somewhere else for the blinkers. I'll have it right on the steering column. So I'm gonna try to mess with that wiring. And this way it's all just right at my hands when I gotta, use the blinkers. And I gotta mount the shifter and get a bunch of other stuff going. I am going to get rid of the motor plate on this car. So I cut all the brackets off, and I'm going to weld in universal mounts onto the K-member. So I got the K-member, it's hanging up over there. I'm gonna mount universal mounts on that. And this way the car will be, the engine will be mounted to the K-member and then mounted to the transmission. Then transmission will be obviously cross-membered. So I think that'll be the best bet because I don't want to use that motor plate anymore. And I'd rather do like just the regular accessories, water pump, power steering. And I actually try to get power steering on this thing too. They make one for the manual rack and pinion. They make like a rack and pinion style power steering system. I'm gonna try to get that. It should mount up to that K-member, and obviously that'll be a lot nicer. Do the conventional power steering pump on the engine, and that's it. I'll have power steering and power windows. Try to be a little bit more streeter now that it's so nice. This car started out as a race car, but now it's gonna just be a pro street monster. And I got some other little tips and tricks, little surprise things going on with this car too. Ended up cutting in the door bars, which realistically I'll probably never use, but I just wanted to put them in there to make it look official. But I do have them if I want to ever, go to the track. Once I put those in, I don't think I'll ever actually be 850 anymore because I cut this bottom one to be able to get like a regular seat in here. Otherwise I would have to use the Kirkies, and wasn't really interested in using those Kirkies anymore. Just want to make a little bit more comfortable in here. So I did cut that bar, but like I said, this is going to be a street car from now on, even though that says otherwise. It's just all going to be a little bit, what do they say? It's going to be more bark than bite. But I mean, it's still going to make a lot of power, but it's not going to be, I'm going to have it probably underdriven as far as pulleys. So it'll probably make like 800 all the time. But not really, like it was going to be set up to be like 1400. So it's a big difference. But yeah, just going to be a street car from now on. Yeah, just going to take my time and do little by little. Try to get as much done on this as I can before my busy season, which is going to be in about a month or two. Between the next month or two, it's going to be insane. So I'm trying to get as much as possible done. Next step, I'm getting those universal engine mounts on Monday. Gonna get those in, get those welded on. Then I got to take the K-member out. It's going to get painted the same color as the car. And this black, can't really tell now with this lighting, but this does have a nice metallic flake in it. It's actually the color of like the Dodge Ram or the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the newer ones. It's the black crystal metallic pearl or whatever. It's pretty cool. It's a nice color. It's got a nice flake. It almost has like a gold flake in certain lighting. It's really nice. Should look really good in the sun. And match the roll cage, and should match everything pretty good. But yeah, stay tuned. Definitely once Shane's car comes back, I'm gonna do a kind of a button-up video on that, and should have it running and all that stuff. And then we gotta get it tuned. So, but yeah, that's it. And I will keep you guys updated as the parts come in for this. But thanks for checking in, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.